I'm Eddie Muller. Welcome to Noir Alley, where each week we immerse ourselves in the dark tide that washed over mid-20th century Hollywood. I'm coming to you from Bar 355 in Oakland, California, my hideout for the foreseeable future. Today, I've got a B picture from the studio I call the House of Noir, RKO Radio Pictures. It's Strange Bargain from 1949, starring Jeffrey Lynn and Martha Scott. Parts of this film are like a time capsule of antiquated middle-class America, but the script has a premise that could easily be adapted, perhaps even more believably, to contemporary times. An accountant struggling to make ends meet is offered an unusual business proposition by his boss, who's facing bankruptcy himself. As we say here in Noir Alley, bad decisions make good stories. Unlike Paramount or 20th Century Fox, RKO earned House of Noir status largely through production of B movies. Whether it was serials like The Falcon or Dick Tracy, or creep shows like the ones created by producer Val Lewton, RKO excelled at making entertaining, inexpensive programmers, particularly ones not afraid of the dark. During the 40s, the executive responsible for filling the bottom half of RKO's double bills was tough and taciturn Sid Rogel. He was called a tyrant by producers and directors who worked with him, but no one questioned Rogel's ability at sustaining a high level of quality while obsessing over the company's bottom line. During RKO's peak years, production chief Dory Sherry green-lighted and shepherded top-shelf noirs like The Spiral Staircase, Crossfire, They Live by Night, and The Window. Meanwhile, Sid Rogel oversaw the studio's low-budget product. He produced 5 pictures starring volatile Lawrence Tierney. That alone will prove how tough he was. And he was the mentor of neophyte director Richard Fleischer, who cut his teeth at RKO making dynamic B movies like Bodyguard, The Clay Pigeon, and Armored Car Robbery. But in late 1947, RKO was bought by Howard Hughes, whose questionable business practices and odd behavior led Sherry to quitting and moving to MGM. In his wake, Rogel took over as production chief for everything. Output of A pictures declined as Hughes toyed and tinkered with pet projects. Rogel kept the beleaguered studio above water from 1948 to 52, largely by making modest B pictures that returned small but reliable profits, while Hughes's personal projects like Vendetta and Jet Pilot threatened to drain the studio's coffers. Strange Bargain is a wonderful example of the type of clever and sturdy B that was RKO's bread and butter. It's based on a story by poet and mystery novelist J.H. Wallace, best known for the book Once Off Guard, which in 1944 became The Woman in the Window, a significant film in the rise of noir. The script of Strange Bargain is by journeywoman Lily Hayward. She'd been crafting screenplays in every genre since the 20s and had just finished a couple of noir-stained pictures for RKO, Blood on the Moon and Follow Me Quietly, directed, respectively, by up-and-coming masters Robert Wise and Richard Fleischer. Today's director is a different story. Will Price was making his feature directorial debut after years as a dialogue director, including 1939's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, where he'd met Maureen O'Hara. They were married in 1941, and the couple was dead set on Price directing O'Hara in a major feature. Once he had this film on his resume, Price was hired by Paramount to make the 1950 adventure saga Tripoli, which starred O'Hara. I'm sure Price was part of the deal to get her in the picture. Now, even though he had Harry Wilde, one of RKO's best cameramen, at his disposal, Price doesn't display the visual style or storytelling verve of a Wise or a Fleischer. His static direction is bailed out by a smart script and good performances. But I'm sure Sid Rogel appreciated Price getting this 68-minute job finished on time and on budget. Now, I'm sure some of you already know that this movie is unique for being, for all intents and purposes, a prequel. The sequel, however, wouldn't appear for 38 years. I will explain once we've watched Strange Bargain.